Riddle me this. Yeah?
Never, never, and never again shall it be that this beautiful land will again experience the oppression of one by another. The people.
Thank you so much. Thank you, beautiful people. Welcome back to Zambia. What a day, the last day of the week. My name is Dingindaba Jonah Buyoya. I'm your host on this podcast, and I'm so glad to be ending the week with a bang. We had fired George because he had messed up a client's thing, and then he's back now after being forgiven, George. I just feel like you deserved a bit more than what you got, and you're very lucky that we didn't do more. But it's not great to have you back, as I still have a bit of that aftertaste. But you're here, and we have to keep going. I have to say though that Tumo was horrible, with the whole thing, because it was like just somebody standing there, and I couldn't have a conversation with the person. Maybe he doesn't know how podcasts go, but it's so good to have you. Okay. I'm not supposed to say that, but good that you are here. Good that somebody wants to pass. Let them go. I mean, you could just go, Phil. Let's get into it. Yesterday was a very busy day. Very busy day, because I always find court cases fascinating, and if it involves Edgar Lungu and it involves any of the high-level people, just know there's going to be a lot of drama. Because, let me read the story, and I'll narrate what happened after that. Former President Edgar Lungu wants 3 constitutional court judges to recuse themselves from hearing a petition challenging his eligibility to contest the 2021 and future elections. The 3 judges are Constitutional Court President Margaret Munalula, her vice Arnold Shilimi, and another judge, Kawimbe Mapani. Mr. Lungu alleges that the cited judges have an interest to serve. The court is expected to hear Mr. Lungu's recusal application on October 3, 2024. Let's take a look at this.
For more than 3 times now, the Constitutional Court will hear and determine a matter challenging the eligibility of former Republican President Edgar Lungu to contest the 2021 general election as well as a future election. In the latest petition, a petitioner, Mijology Zombe, has argued that the former President Edgar Lungu held office twice. He says the period from 2015 to 2016 constituted a full term, and a period from 2016 to 2021 also constituted another full term, and therefore he prays that the Constitutional Court makes a declaration that the former president was not eligible to contest the 2021 general election as well as the future election. Today we're expecting the Constitutional Court to hear the main matter of this particular petition, but there was an application that was raised by the first respondent, who is the former Republican President Edgar Lungu, through his lawyer.
Issue as to whether or not the judges should recuse themselves is a threshold issue, like we argued. It's an issue to determine the fairness of the process itself and whether the application by our client has merit. And it can only be so if our client is given an opportunity to lay the facts bare before the court, and the court to be able to interrogate those facts. And we will be doing that on Monday by 14 hours. We're given an hour in which to make that application, which time was impossible.
We made our objections known, but it's the court's duty to dispense justice, and sometimes that means accommodating requests and giving people enough room to comply and feel that they are also receiving a fair end of the stick. And I think that's what the court ended up doing. So there's no displeasure. There were no favors done here by the court in granting that order. Absolutely no favors. It's normal for courts to grant time for parties to go and comply when they have failed to comply within the initial amount of time that's been given.
Mr. Lungu wants 3 Constitutional Court judges that are part of the bench hearing his eligibility case recused, among them the court president Margaret Munanula and her vice Arnold Shilimi. In a complaint letter to the Judicial Complaints Commission, the former president is accusing the judges of having an interest in the matter. He alleges that the 3 judges want to serve the interest of President Hichilema to prevent him from contesting future elections.
What is urgent is whether the judges must sit to deliver justice or not. And unless and until we resolve the ethical issues, it will be, you cannot deliver justice.
Some of the allegations raised, are those that if they are proven, they may require to be, to recuse themselves. Because, see, the court works, through just and fairness, so that, people deciding have no attachment.
On October 3rd, 2024, the Constitutional Court is expected to hear Mr. Lungu's application in which he wants 3 Constitutional Court judges to recuse themselves from the proceedings. Darius Jonya, Damo News.
So, first of all, yesterday started off very dramatic. The morning, as you would expect anyway, had a lot of police at the Supreme Court grounds, so much security. And it was a bit intimidating because, the police sometimes are quite unreasonable because they were stopping. Actually, our crew was stopped from going ahead with filming at the Supreme Court grounds until much later because of no reason. The police just felt like they couldn't allow you. But that was just by the way. What happened later was, the day starts, ECL is there, and the court delays because in the court chambers, the judges are there, the lawyers are there because ECL wants to address the court himself. But the judges say, no, you have to go through your lawyers. And eventually it goes that way, that he goes through the lawyers. Majority of the day was spent on one aspect. Edgar Lungu is not comfortable with 3 of the judges on the panel because he feels that they may be prejudiced. He argues that one of them is related to the president, a close ally of the president, he argues, and he doesn't feel very confident also based on previous sittings of this issue. And based on that, they're granted an opportunity for them to file their petition of the recusal of these judges. Unfortunately, the day ends, they were given like 2 hours and they were unable to do it. So when they come back, their lawyer, Makibe Zulu, tells the court that they needed a bit more time to do their research and for them to be able to provide the evidence. So it was unable to take off. And so they are supposed to do that by Monday, which is them filing in this petition. They were granted this request for them to be able to file a petition against the 3 judges for them to prove that these judges may be biased and so they need to recuse themselves from hearing this case. There are 3 out of 7 judges that are supposed to hear this case of Edgar Lungu's eligibility. Because of all this, the case has been adjourned to the 3rd of October, 2024. And as you would expect, it wasn't going to be heard just yesterday. It's going to take a lot of time before it is concluded. And because of this, you have to put all things into consideration. And it's that, the arguments have to be presented, the arguments have to be rebutted, and the judges have to individually decide on what they thought about all of these things that were going on. But obviously, there's an interesting dynamic here. There's 3 judges that are missing, and these 3 judges are the ones that were suspended because of a complaint and a recommendation by the Judicial Complaints Commission. Some people have argued that it's been pretty poor timing, especially that this is a pretty high-profile case and, subjects the president to a lot of criticism and analysis. But, that's that for now. We'll be back next week on the issue on the 3rd of October. Former Lusaka Province Minister Bowman Lusambo has been acquitted by the Lusaka Magistrate Court in a matter he allegedly interfered with state witnesses. In this matter, Mr. Lusambo faced 3 counts of attempting to tamper with witnesses who were set to testify against him in a case involving accusations of obtaining property through proceeds of crime and tax evasion. Matter before Magistrate Fides Hamaundu. Let's take a look at this. All right. So I haven't talked to Mr. Bowman Lusambo in a very long time, and let me call him. Let's try to call him. I don't know if he's gonna pick up because him and I have not talked in a very long time. I think over a year. Do I even have his number? I do. I do. If he hasn't changed it, that is. Let's try. Let's try.
No response from the requested
There's
number.
no response.
There is no response
from
from
the
the
requested number. I think Andrew, kinda, but Andrew is kind of busy. Oh man, this is so sad. I was gonna try and call him, but I can't get through. I wanted to hear the other person that can have it is on the news. Let me try to call Andrew. Let me try to call Andrew. You see, the only thing is Andrew is going through something right now, so something good, not something bad. But let me try to call him so we can try to talk to Bowman. It'll be good, isn't it? It'll be interesting to hear him speak. I'm calling Andrew. If he's what? Secret or what? Oh, okay. I'm gonna ask him. Hi, Andrew. This is the podcast. I know you're busy. You've got a lot of money at the moment. So we're calling to ask if you can make a donation to an orphanage.
Okay. Which orphanage, gentlemen?
No, I'm just joking. I'm trying to call Bowman Lusambo, but his number is not going through. Do you have a different number I can try to call?
Yes, I have a different number.
Can you text it to my WhatsApp just now?
Okay, cool. Let me text you WhatsApp.
Awesome, thank you. So
Sure.
Andrew is going to give us the number, and then we'll try to call him, and then we're going to ask him all these questions. But the case that he's facing at the moment has got to do with him tampering with witnesses. He has been facing several charges and accusations of obtaining property through proceeds of crime and tax evasion. And so the allegation was that as he's facing all of these charges, he has been tampering with witnesses, and this is, to avoid the consequences of some of the allegations that are leveled against him. He's been acquitted of that, and some good news in his camp. I say some good news because he has been going through quite a bit. Lost his parliamentary seat, has not gone back to parliament, lost his parliamentary seat after having won it, and has not gone back to parliament. And this is also in the midst of all these allegations against him, the court cases that he's got to deal with, and anybody needs some good news at some point. We've got the number. Let me try this one. Oh man, this is gonna be interesting. Let's try. It's ringing. Mulife wino? Ndife wino. Ndem tumina ndipa podcast nachanda pali story ya Acquitted. I said, let me call my older brother and just talk to him and find out how he's doing after being acquitted today.
What time?
No, like I'm recording right now, so I'm just I just wanna hear how you're feeling.
Okay, thank you very much, Jonah. For me, I put all these things in the hands of the Lord because I believe that I've been vindicated in this case, and there's no other comment which I can make apart from saying we thank God for this day, and we'll continue looking up to God to see to it that all the remaining cases can finish in the same manner.
I wanted to find out also something different because I see you, you've been going to court a lot, and I know that it can be really draining. And when you were going there today, did you anticipate the outcome? Did you think this was going to happen, or you were nervous as you were going there today?
Nervous not, but draining, yes, because I've been in court from 2021 up to today. So I've been disturbed on a lot of things. I've stopped concentrating on other things like business. I've stopped concentrating on other responsibility as a family person. But today when I was going to court, I know that I'm in court because of politics, and I haven't committed any offense anywhere, but I'm in court to clear my name. So I was not nervous.
Finally, I have to let you go because this is an ambush, so we're not going to get into a detailed interview. But you've also been a bit quiet on the political side compared to what you've always been like. So what is going on in the background? What's going on in the background?
We are doing a lot of things in the background. As you might be aware, going to court every day, it's not an easy thing. I've been in court. I'm in court, actually. I'm in court in Kabwe. I'm in court on the Copper Belt province. I'm always in court here in Lusaka. So I can't do two things at the same time. So one thing's supposed to suffer, and in this case, my political life has to suffer. But we are doing everything possible to make sure that we are in touch with our people on the ground. And as the chair for mobilization, I have people across the country in all the 156 constituencies who are working every day, and I'm updated and I know what is going on in all those constituencies. So actually, I've just reduced on the public appearance, but in the background, I'm doing everything possible to make sure that the mobilization part of our party is intact and is going well.
All right, thank you so much. Thanks a lot for talking to me. And I guess the best description of all of this is let justice be served, isn't it? Yeah.
Exactly. That's true.
Thanks a lot. Thank you. Thanks for talking to me.
Thank you, Jonah. Thank you.
Thanks. All right, it was interesting. Interesting chat that we've... I was about to get into a deep dive interview, but, I think that we shouldn't do that on the podcast. I think we should keep it light and, let's keep it light and just have some conversations that we would have on a normal day with people. Let's go to Livingstone, where students of Livingstone Institute of Business and Engineering Studies, LIBES, have rioted over alleged poor management of the college. The students who blocked the college entrance and burnt tires went round the camps chanting and demanding the immediate resignation of the school principal, Ignatius Lubinda. The students are also concerned about the water crisis and poor sanitation, forcing them to practice open defecation. They're also concerned about the lack of learning materials despite being levied by the school. And the situation was calm after the intervention of Information and Media Permanent Secretary Thabo Kawana. He assured the government's intervention over the raised concerns. Let's take a look at this.
Can you listen, guys?
Thursday was that day for Livingstone Institute of Business and Engineering Studies LIBES Principal Ignatius Lubinda, as entire students protested against his alleged inefficient administration. The students went around chanting, "He must go," signifying their loss of trust in his administration.
The students are saying they've got rights to have solar panels, because this is a big institution that can provide power, that can provide solar panels that students are able to actually study and do these other things.
The situation normalized after the arrival of Police and Information Permanent Secretary Thabo Kawana, who requested the students to table their grievances in an orderly manner.
Listen, guys, you are going right now. Yes, sir. In our midst, yes, we have our Honorable Minister for Information, yes, Mr. Thabo Kawana, and we have the Commissioner. We would want, like we said, if there are any demands, we would want to get those demands. Also, the thing, what has hurt me the most, to know that as students, you have come to an institution like
like this one, which is in town, and to hear students say, Timanyira Msanga.
The students, mainly those under Constituency Development Fund, also complained of poor feeding program, accusing management of mismanaging the funds, a situation which has concerned government earlier. PS Kawana also engaged lecturers who had been on a go-slow due to several issues, including unattended to salary increase requests. For now, learning is suspended but expected to resume tomorrow, but government has warned managers will be found wanting in several issues raised by students and lecturers. Gabriel Jasas, Mova, Diamond News.
I would have called Tawa Kawana to ask him about this. So he doesn't like me, so I don't think I wanna. Why doesn't he like me? Well, I think that he's got his own reasons, and I think it's based on my journalism, my work. It can be a bit frustrating. It can be a bit frustrating. So I understand, but I'm okay with that. That's totally fine. He's not my friend. He's an individual, and an individual very far from me. So it's absolutely fine. But I was going to call him to try and find out about this issue. But it's all good. Former Minister of Defense George Mpombo has been laid to rest in Chief Chwala's area. In a moving ceremony held in Ndola, the 70-year-old politician and military expert who passed away earlier this week after a prolonged illness was remembered as a man of integrity, courage, and of unwavering commitment to national service. During tributes, late Mpombo was remembered for his service to the nation and legacy in defending Zambia's sovereignty, contributing to the nation's security, which will always be remembered. Let's take a look at this.
Justice would have been vindicated. From the whole incident really ripped off my heart out of my heart. I do strongly believe in sanctity of life. And like I've stated always, it was a very unfortunate situation. It's been 12 months of my life being on tenterhooks. 12 months of, 4 months of horrendous ordeal. But now I think I'm able to come out of the shell. As a matter of political moral compaction, I'd taken a back seat in the political arena because there's no way you could be doing politics with these things hanging around your neck.
These words are characteristics of George Mpombo's eloquence embodied his unwavering dedication to Zambia's sovereignty and security. Today, Zambia bids farewell to the man who spoke a truth to power, a champion of integrity and national service. The Zambia Army paid tribute to the fallen hero, conducting a guard of honor in recognition of Mpombo's selfless service to the nation. For Mpombo's family, today marks a difficult goodbye to a living father, grandfather, and pillar of strength.
Kulaposha rukoso abantu mushira obasanga kumpera lift banka shandi nendume shandi ndikulomba twadidide okwikala mu mutende wenkawuli abatata obatushamu batata balipengera mukulwala kwabo mwali mwene bonse.
Trust in the Lord and have faith. But it's so unfortunate and heartbreaking that you are no longer with us, and we shall always love you. We know your body has been put to rest by the Lord, but your soul will forever be within us. By your shukulu, may your soul
be a servant or a son of Zambia, also be a son of God. He was a son, somebody has described him, son of the nation, son of Zambia, where all of us are, and daughters. But are you a son of God?
Senior Chief Chiwala's representative, Mpombo's commitment to his community was unwavering.
Royal and indeed dependable or person from the chiefdom. It will be very difficult to replace by George Mpombo Mwachiwala. He was indeed
kandi nimbalasa tungalabira ati lyali lishiki lyakwikate embalasa. He was a great man who served as Minister for Copper Belt, Minister of Energy, Minister of Defense. He was a governor. And for those who don't...
Meanwhile, Zambia's former Vice President, Dr. Nevas Mumba, Professor George Mpombo was a big brother in the Zambian politics, and to him...
But one thing I'll never forget is that he was full of love for others regardless of political affiliation, and he was the personification of loyalty. He was loyal to President Levi Mwanawasa, but he was also loyal to the movement.
And President Hakainde Hichilema, who was presented by Defense Minister Ambrose Lufuma, Professor Mpombo's legacy speaks for itself.
We join and mourn with you for a man who represented a generation of selfless, and I repeat, a generation of selfless and committed architects of our country's return to multi-party democracy.
Professor George Mpombo's legacy will live on, inspiring future generations to emulate his courage, integrity and dedication to the national service, even as his remains were put to rest in Senior Chief Chuala's chiefdom. Love Mwasondash for Diamond News in Ndola.
I think that this is like a perfect opportunity for people to be a bit playful. And I don't know why people have been ignoring this bit of his, his life. What comes to your mind when you hear George Mpombo? So I don't know why this is being omitted. I think that he would love for that to be recognized, that this was a part of him. This was a part of his life. He loved, to play around with the King's language. And that's beautiful, a beautiful way to remember somebody, because he wasn't just a minister. He was also a person. And as a person, the things that I don't get it. I really don't get it. I don't get why this is being omitted, it's not, okay. His tribute should have been written with a dictionary. It probably was. I didn't watch that, so I can't say it wasn't. But I just feel like in the whole way that we have kind of covered it, I feel like we should have spent a lot of time on that bit of his life as well. Okay, let's wrap it up. Let's wrap it up. The Patriotic Front members of Parliament say that the 2025 budget, which will be presented by the Minister of Finance, should be one that will address the suffering of the citizens. Lunta Member of Parliament Mtoto Kafwaya says they expect an allocation of subsidies on mealie meals in order to address the current high cost of living. The members of Parliament add that Dr. Msokotwane should be moderate in praising what has been done in the mining sector, which is nothing. Let's take a look at this.
On Thursday, 27th September 2024, Minister of Finance Tumbeko Msokotwane will present the 2025 national budget 2 weeks after President Hakainde Hichilema officially opened Parliament. Ahead of this day, Patriotic Front members of Parliament are highly expectant that the budget will address the current hardships Zambians are facing.
In order for the budget to be approved, Mr. President, the Zambian people are hungry. They are hungry because the cost of living is very high. The Zambian people are also angry. And they are angry because your governance is poor. I want to recommend that your budget tomorrow must have an allocation for subsidies related to mealie meal. I recommend that you subsidize mealie meal because mealie meal at 350 kwacha is out of reach for most poor Zambians.
This message to the Honorable Minister of Finance as he comes tomorrow, he should not be the loudspeaker talking about Mopani, that the issue of Mopani has been sorted out. I'm coming from Mufrira, which is where Mopani is based, Mufrira and Kitwe, but I can tell the minister that that language of saying Mopani has been sorted out should not enter the chamber tomorrow, because the issues at Mopani are far from being sorted out.
different sectors are of interest to the lawmakers.
We started the program of township roads. The first township roads were done actually in Monze. That's how a leader should be. Monze and Livingstone received the first township roads. What we are seeing now, Honorable Msokotwane, is that you've tactfully chosen certain areas under your strongholds where you're beginning to do township roads and other developments under central government. We want you in the 2025 budget to come and be able to distribute development equitably.
And weighing in his budgetary expectation, TAZ Public Resource Management Coordinator says strengthening internal controls, particularly for local authorities, is necessary.
We, of course, will be interested in the overview of the economy, where they are expecting us to go in terms of GDP growth, what will be our targets for inflation. Will those be sufficient to address some of the economic challenges and fundamentals that we are looking at and facing today? But beyond that, there are a number of things that we are also looking out for, some of which relate to strengthening the public finance management system for Zambia. One, for instance, is strengthening internal controls, particularly at local authority level, especially with the introduction of CDF and being revamped.
The 2025 national budget will be presented on Friday, and this is the fourth since the United Party for National Development UPND came into power. All roads leads to Parliament on Friday, 27th September 2024. Victoria Kayeye Yambani, Diamond News.
Good. The budget has to be debated when it is announced. It's going to be announced today, Friday, later today. So we should be looking out for that. But yeah, I'm looking out. I think everybody's looking out to what's going to be in the budget. But I think that to an extent, the members of parliament are pretty right. You know, it should address the challenges that the people are going through at the moment, the economic hardships that people are going through at the moment. And it must be the essence of it to address these concerns, because people are really going through a tough time, and government does acknowledge that. If they don't, they should, because people are going through a pretty tough time, and the equation is pretty simple. If you hear the rumbling in my background, they're humming. No, I'm talking to the people that are watching, the person that is watching. If you listen to them, if you can't hear it, you hear that? That's a genset. And it's suffering for that thing to be going on. That's not good. We always need a proper alternative of energy that is much cheaper. And that's usually ZESCO, which we pay. You know, we pay ZESCO for the electricity. But, you know, we are having all these challenges, and they all culminate into a loss of revenue for businesses. So pretty tough time. But in fact, I shouldn't say Zambia. What a year it has been, man. What a year it has been. I should have saved this for the last episode of the year, isn't it? No, we're gonna skip that. We're gonna just say, okay, what a day.